everybody. Welcome to Lady Boss Mamas. I'm Molly Addis. I design a clothing line for moms who are breastfeeding, and my website is soma.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Laura Katanen. I am a lifestyle blogger and I'm also a sensory branding and marketing consultant. And I live in West Hollywood with my husband and my little boy, Aiden. He's 18 months, and we have a crazy cat, Xena, who you will definitely see throughout the video today. And we are just so thrilled after months of planning and finally getting together. We are with the beautiful and courageous blonde, Hannah Tovar.
Hello, like they said, my name is Hannah Tovar. I am a lifestyle, mommy blogger. I have a 2.5-year-old boy who keeps me on my toes. We live in the sunny, hot desert of Yuma, Arizona, so it's very exciting. Wow. And yes, so I'm just so glad to be with you guys this afternoon. I guess my little one's napping, so yeah, I'm just so excited to be here with you guys.
You've started this fashion blogging, and how did you get into it, and what like really excited you about it?
It kind of all started when I was pregnant with Hudson, and I just I guess I really didn't even have a blog at that time. It was more just like my Instagram, just to document my pregnancy. We struggled with infertility for 2 years, and so that coming out with that to everyone was kind of like, that was like my very first blog post, and I put it in a blog so that everybody can go to one central place to read about it. And that just kind of spiraled into more posts. Then I kind of did like our birth story with Hudson, because that was a crazy adventure in itself, and everybody wanted to know about that. And so I put that into a blog, and then of course, you know, having a baby, it's like your own personal baby doll. And so, you know, I love to dress him up, and I would just take pictures of his outfits, and, you know, I love to match with him because, you know, everybody loves to do that with their daughter. And so I was like, well, I have a son, like I can do it too. So we would just do that, and that just kind of like spiraled into one thing after another. And then I just decided probably about, maybe a 1.5 years ago to actually blog, like put it on the web and actually link things and talk about things. And then last year in April, I launched Brave Blonde. So yeah, it's just been a crazy journey. I love all things motherhood, anything that has to do with being a mom. And you know, there's no guide or handbook when you become a mom. And so trying to find ideas, just even good books, learning resources, like I was always intrigued when other mothers would share about that. And I'm like, well, if I'm intrigued and I want to learn more, who else is out there that also wants to learn more? So if I can inspire or help a mother with anything like that, then I'm happy to do it. So yeah, that's just kind of it in a nutshell.
So Brave Blonde, like when you talk about sharing your fertility story as your first blog post, that takes a lot of guts and courage to do. And then once you kind of put something like that out there, I feel like you get a little bit like, wow, that felt really good. I want to do more of that. Can you talk a little bit about getting over that initial fear and then moving from fear to like, this is something I really love?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't share that story or that blog post. I was like 9 months pregnant, or 8 months pregnant. So I was like really far along. And so it was kind of almost about a 3-year, you know, process that kind of took me to get to that place. And one, because when you struggle with something like that, you're just kind of embarrassed because, you know, like you're a woman, like you're supposed to be able to do that naturally. And when it doesn't, almost like a sense of your womanhood is like stolen from you. And so I had a really hard time connecting with other women that struggled with that for me. Like I didn't know anybody in my church that struggled with that. I had my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law struggled with that as well. They have a little girl. But other than her, like I didn't have anybody to connect with. And that was really hard. I just felt alone because, you know, yeah, you talk to your husband, you talk to your mom and stuff like that, but there was nobody else that I knew what I was going through. And so I just thought, again, if somebody else, there's got to be other people out there that are struggling with this. And I wish I had somebody to relate to or to talk to or to just vent to or cry with or whatever. I thought, well, maybe I can be that for somebody else. So that was the one thing that kind of led into that. And then plus, I mean, he's our miracle baby, and I have to give honor to God for doing that. So I just had to like tell the world what a miracle, you know, this all was. So yeah.
Can you remember exactly, you know, the thing that somebody wrote, or, you know, some response to what you wrote and how that made you feel?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I mean, I can go through like that blog post, and every year on the day that I found out I was pregnant, I always do like a recap or just share something just to kind of about believing in your dreams or believing for the impossible or whatever. And I specifically remember this last year, because it was in December, I got more in December than I did 3 years ago when I launched that first blog post. So it's kind of like a good reminder to keep doing that, because there's always people who are new and come around. But, you know, I got a lot of emails from that blog post of other women just struggling with it, and even women who have had 3 babies and then they're trying for number 4 and they can't, and then they're just like, do I do it, do I not? And just even to be able to refer a woman in my city to the doctor that I went to, like that just makes me so happy, because he's amazing. And you know, like that just makes you feel like you're kind of helping somebody's desire or dream happen, and just to be a part of that, because you never know what that can lead into. And when they get their miracle baby, you know, I'm on the sidelines cheering them on and just happy that I could have been a part of that.
What advice do you have when you mentioned like you decided to really start blogging for real? What would you say the difference is in a mindset of, because it's so easy in a way to start a blog and start writing and put things on the internet, and what sort of changed in your brain when you said, I'm now a blogger, this is what I do?
You know, I mean, it's so easy to start a blog, and it's kind of one of those things that has kind of become saturated. So many people can do it and so many people can start it. But I think the more questions I got kind of validated, like from followers or just people, I just kept getting questions more about motherhood than anything else. I just thought, you know what, let me just put it in a central place for people to go to. I'm happy to answer anybody's questions, what, you know, if it's a direct message or emails or whatever, but if there can be a central place for them to go to, then, you know, I'm happy to take the time to develop that and grow that and make it into a business and make it into a place where women can go to get inspired or fresh ideas or anything for that matter, buy something for themselves, retail therapy, I don't know.
I have a question about your Brave Blonde name. So tell us about how you got to that. And it's such a cool, powerful name, by the way. I love it.
Thank you. So obviously I'm blonde.
Yeah.
Hudson's middle name is Brave. And so we named him Brave because I remember I was sitting in a meeting when I worked full-time prior to having Hudson, and I was sitting in a staff meeting and I got the call from the doctor where he said, like, we need you to come in. Like, you know, we don't have the best news for you. And I just remember, like, I really thought I would have lost it, you know, because I didn't know if I was about ready to be told I have cancer. I didn't know I don't know what I was about to be told. He just said, I need you to come down. And, I just pulled myself together. I'm in a staff meeting. And so I just, I finished my staff meeting. I held it together. And then as soon as I left the staff meeting, of course, I got in my car and I just bawled my eyes out. And I just thought, okay, I'm just going to drive down there and just get answers, like what is going on. And so I turn on the radio, which I rarely do, because, you have your phones and your music. And so I turned on the radio and the song came on, You Make Me Brave. And I think that's by Bethel. I'm not sure. And that song just like gave me the strength and the bravery to make that drive to the doctor's office and to walk in with like my shoulders back and, whatever I was about to face, like I knew that it would be okay because I just had like a sense of bravery that came over me. And so I went in and that's when they kind of told me what was wrong with me. And I just knew like, I'm going to have a baby, like I'm going to have a baby. And then when we found out it was a boy, I thought his name has to be Brave. Like somewhere in his name has to have that. So that's how it came.
You gave me the chills like through the entire story.
Oh.
We've been talking to a lot of women this month. Our theme was fear. And it fits so well with Brave because oftentimes the fear really paralyzes us.
Mm-hmm.
And so to be brave is not very easy, but it can really make such a difference in what you can achieve and what you can do.
Right.
What do you think is the opposite of fear?
Faith. Fear is faith in reverse. I mean, you can't do both. You can't believe for your dream to happen, but also fear it at the same time. It's like having one foot in and one foot out. Like light and darkness cannot coexist. And it's the same thing with fear and faith or just believing. And, to me, that is the complete opposite. And there were times where I was so fearful and I just reverted back to that. And then it's like, nope, I got to get back on track. And so definitely faith or just believing or setting your mind to something and not wavering from that is definitely something I would say is.
I love that.
So you mentioned that you're a girly girl and you love everything like girly. If you were to describe your style, like Molly had said, we all have to really own our personal style. How would you define it? Like what words would you use?
Yeah, I would just say feminine. Like I love pink, but I try not to wear a lot of it because I don't want to look like, Legally Blonde. So I try to stay away from that a little bit. But I mean, anything, a lace, ruffles, just anything feminine.
So if there was a fragrance for your style, what would it smell like?
I guess I would have to say sweet because if I do treat, like my perfumes I tend to go for like the sweeter smells.
How do you see Lady Boss Mamas and what excites you about it?
Honestly, I feel like this needs to be notified to not just moms because it's called Lady Boss. It's not just directed towards moms, but just female empowerment. Like I'm not saying we don't need men in our lives because there's a lot of things that I need my husband to do or a male to do. But I am all about like female empowerment because when we band together and when we support each other, like we can conquer the world. And that gets me excited because even before I had Hudson, I worked with females and women's and putting together events and for women to feel good and empowered and to just leave feeling better than they came. And so that has always been kind of like a goal of mine or just something that beats in my heart. And now with technology, we have this. So somebody can just log on to a website and watch this 30-minute video and then they can leave inspired and like, okay, well, I can start a business from home. Or, if you're a college student, like I can start something on my own too, to generate some finances while I'm trying to put myself through school or whatever. And that's what gets me excited, because I love to motivate women to do the impossible, because there's nothing that we cannot do. And I feel like this needs to be plastered on everything for women to know about this, because I feel like if they do know about it, it will take off.
Well, thank you. We are so grateful for your kind words and for your, support. And, you really are a brave blonde. I mean, we just speaking to you, know you, but it's a great name for you. And we are planning a big event, actually. We are going to aim for middle of October in Palm Springs. We would love it if you joined us.
This is not far from, like, that's driving distance.
Yeah, a little road trip, right?
Yes.
And so more to come on that. And we just really appreciate you taking the time today, Hannah. And, we appreciate you helping us get the word out there. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, and everyone who's watching, please go follow Hannah Tovar. Brave Love.
Talking with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so honored. You guys are amazing.
All right, and we hope you catch up with us weekly. We have weekly interviews. So thanks to everyone for watching, and we'll talk soon.